Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk to you today about how to implement your plan even when you don't want to. I'm Missy Hughes, and I'm a productivity coach. I help you simplify planning and help you get things done. So go to the link in the comments of this video and sign up for my 5-step planning guide and get started getting things done. So you've made a plan and you scheduled it, you looked at the free time, you have things that you want to get done, you've made decisions about what's important, found those spots in your calendar, and now here you are, ready to get started, but you really just want to get the heck out of here and not do the thing you said you want to do. It happens all the time. It happens with me frequently, and it is literally a very conscious thing that I work through. Because I'm a productivity coach doesn't mean I am excited about all the things every time I go to do them. I'm actually not. And so the tools that I'm going to teach you today are going to help you get things done, even when it is hard to get things done. So, what the heck is happening when you say, I want to do this thing, and then you go to do it and you want to fly out of there? It's actually pretty normal and it happens all the time. It's like it's game day and you're ready to win. Only you're actually not ready to get out there and scrap it out. You're ready to have won the game. It's not really the sweating it out effort that you're pumped about. You're pumped about the winning score of we just won. You're pumped about the result of winning. It's the same with tasks. I can't wait to clean the bathroom. No, no, wait a minute. I can't wait to have a clean bathroom. I don't mind if somebody else does it. I'd love for somebody else to clean it, actually. I want the result of a clean bathroom. A huge challenge in the process of implementing your plan comes when you are connected more to the result of a task than you are to the process of doing the task. I want to be the person who has this done. I really don't know how to be the person that does it, though. So I recently signed up for a 6-month course and I'm really excited about it. It starts at the end of January, so I've got a little bit of time. I signed up for it about a month ago and I already have the content. So that, like the eager little beaver that I am, here are the tasks that I hopped right in there and did. So I scheduled all the things on my calendar, all the meetings. I clicked on all the tabs to see what's in there, to make sure I'm not missing anything, to make sure I know all the tools that are available to me. I double checked all the emails to make sure I'm not missing a how to consume all this content before the thing even starts. I began watching the videos, reading the workbook, answering the questions, and I made a spreadsheet of all the video titles and the length of the um, video so that I can plan my work week to include the learning time. So, why did I jump so quickly to all of these actions? They were easy. Didn't take a whole lot of brain power. It just put, oh, here's A, let me put it in my calendar. Here's B, put it in. Learning is fun for me. I love it. It's exciting. Consuming the videos is risk-free for me. I can just listen. I can just see how it applies to me. I can consider. All of that's easy. All of that's fun for me. All of that is risk-free. I'm happy to implement the task of learning because I love the process of gaining knowledge. I love the journey of learning something new. I identify myself as a lifelong learner. But want to know something else? I am literally terrified of taking action. I love to learn so you can see how to do it. I'm terrified to do it and mess things up. I'm terrified to not be perfect. Why? Because I might look silly. I might do it wrong. I might not like how it goes. I might worry about you judging me, and I might worry about me judging me. So I also identify as a person who is overcoming perfectionism. When you look at that statement, the focus is on overcoming. It's the focus on the struggle, not necessarily the win. It's easy for me to learn. It's a challenge for me to implement. I'm in the fight of overcoming. So, how do you use the tasks that are easy for you to do to actually do the tasks that you'd rather put off or avoid? You identify what you're thinking about yourself. When I'm learning, I'm thinking about myself. I'm a learner. When I'm implementing, I'm thinking about myself. I'm figuring out how to do this messy. You can see the difference in just how I hold myself. I'm scared or sometimes. So when you identify what you're thinking about yourself, you get to connect to yourself in the task. You get to connect to yourself in the journey, not just in the result. So I want to encourage you to answer these questions. So pause and grab a pencil and a piece of paper. I'm going to use this in my concept of what's easy for me, which is learning. So I want you to ask yourself these questions. When it's easy, I feel. So for me, when it's easy, when I'm learning, I feel ready. I feel ready to learn the new things. I feel ready to get after it. When it's easy, I'm the person who, and answer that question. So if when I'm learning, I'm the person who gets organized and gets started. Third question. When it's easy, I believe this about myself. So when I'm learning, I believe about myself that I have all the space in the world to expand and grow. So that's what I'm thinking about myself when it's easy. You answer those questions for you when it's something that you find very easy to undertake. When you've got that on your list, you just get it done. Now, answer these same questions when it's hard. When this task feels hard, I feel. What emotion are you feeling there? When it's hard, I'm the person who. Answer that question. When it's hard, I believe what about myself? Now, when you look fear in the face, it takes a little bit of its power away. I often think that of a monster in the closet. So when you lock the monster in the closet and you're holding the door closed with all of your effort, you eventually get tired. Your muscles actually fatigue as you push against this thing that you are trying to keep in there, this monster that you're afraid of. But when you release that pressure and you open the door and you turn on the light and you see the monster that's in there, then you get to be face to face with what that monster looks like. All of a sudden, it's less scary. All of a sudden, the fight is taken away, and so is the power of that fear. So when you open the door and look at the monster and kind of have a conversation with it, then you get to know it. Why are you in there? Why are you lurking around? Why are you trying to scare me? When you start to have this conversation where you look at what am I afraid of? What am I believing about myself? What am I actually feeling in this situation where everything feels hard, where I feel scared? then you get to start to have that conversation. You get to shed a little bit of light on the subject. So when you're looking that fear in the face, you get to see this task feels hard because I'm the person who. So now what I want you to do after you've looked at that fear in the face, I want you to use the easy feeling in the when it's hard sentence. So I'll give you my example. When it's hard, I'm going to use my learning example. I feel ready. When it's hard, I'm the person who gets organized and gets started. When it's hard, I believe about myself that I have all the space in the world to expand and grow. Now, all of those sound kind of easy to believe. I may not be there 100%. But none of those sounded crazy. It's not like me saying like, "Oh, here I am and I've got this huge hurdle to overcome." Say it's a weight loss challenge. Here I stand at 100 pounds more than I want. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm 100 pounds lighter." I don't feel light and free and easy yet. So saying that doesn't seem like an easy jump. But when you look at these statements, when it's hard, I feel ready. I mean, I could get ready to tackle whatever, right? I can believe that I can get ready no matter what. I can get ready to, maybe I'll mess it up, but I can get ready for that. I don't have to say I'm winning yet. I don't have to make up some huge um, positive affirmation that I don't believe. Um, I can believe a little piece of each of these parts. I can believe that I can feel ready. I can believe that I can get organized and get started. I can believe that I have space to expand and grow. Those all make sense for me, even when it's hard. So when I'm successful in one space, it's useful in the next space. When I believe something about myself over here, it opens the door to me to believe it in a different space. It just takes practice believing it. So when you make those statements for yourself, when you read them over, when you maybe you hold them, post them somewhere and write them down, and maybe you practice that when you're like, I don't want to do this task. Okay, I'm going to read these statements and then maybe get started. And the last thing that I want to offer you is one little sentence. I could host a whole webinar about just this sentence, but I'm going to leave it here. Try this after you've read those statements. And then the last statement is, I bet I can try just this part. So when you're worried about getting started, when you're worried about doing your thing, when you're afraid for whatever reason, when you're avoiding for whatever reason, I bet I can get started just doing this one little bit. When you break anything down into it's almost silly not to do it, then it's easier to do it. Then it's easier to get going. And once you get going, once you break that inertia, remember you're either still or you're moving in the direction you've always moved. When you break that up a little bit, it's easier to then get going in a different direction. So once you get started, I can just start with this little bit. Then that motion can create a little bit more momentum. So when you're using the belief that you have about yourself, when you're identifying, what am I believing about myself? Then you can start to get moving. You can use what's easy, apply it to what's hard, and just get started.